Hello, welcome back to the Crafty Organizer. I'm Noreen Burke, and today we're going to talk about a DIY washi tape or ribbon holder that you're going to love. Last week I did a video on affordable multi-interest storage ideas, and I always love doing these because it appeals to my love for organizing as well as my love for crafting. Now, I had asked if I had covered everything, and I knew you guys were going to come back with you missed, and you did, and I love it because it gives me a chance to explore a whole bunch of new organizing ideas, and I'll be working on those in part 2. But a very popular one, and boy, there were lots of them, florals is going to be a whole different video, stamping will be another, but washi tape was one that I really wanted to address quickly because I had a good idea that came up. So I want to cover a couple of ideas and suggestions for things that might work in your space, and then I want to show you this little DIY I made that you can easily make. I made this one for $8. I could just take my washi tape off, put it right back on, and set it aside. I'm excited about this one because I can hang it on a wall. It has a very, very skinny profile, so I could put it on a shelf and not take up much space. I can also just leave it on my desktop. But let's get into some of these other ideas first, and then I'll show you how I made this DIY. So you know I love using things that are already lying around the house. So if you happen to have a window shutter just lying around, what a cute way to store and organize your washi tape. It gives you the ability to put a little sample of what the tape looks like and then use a small S-hook or even a paper clip that you just open up. I thought this one was super cute. Another, if you have a large embroidery hoop, you could just use some small little cup hooks and a thin dowel and you can display all of your washi tapes. Another, I have so many of these door blanks, but you can also use a picture frame with something on the back. This is just using some command strips on the backing and some wood cooking skewers. You can get these at the Dollar Tree and have a great display for your washi tape. Now, don't think it has to be expensive. If you've already got a pegboard, by just putting a couple of little hooks in, on this one they used the large size cup hooks, but again, a thin dowel will allow you to display these. Another option, if you've already got a pant hanger that you're not using for your pants, this is a great way to get them organized and up. And all of these ideas are interchangeable for washi tape and small spools of ribbon. If you have a bunch of paper towel cores, why not slice them down long ways, put them together, and make these little washi tape organizers. This works great if you're trying to store them in a drawer and don't want them rolling all over the place. If you don't have a lot, consider using a long drawer organizer and using a small tension rod on the inside. This makes a dispenser with all of your washi tapes. I had mentioned the saran wrap box being repurposed into a dispenser. This is great because you can break them down by the specific category of color or holiday, and it already has the small serrated edge to cut them off easily. If you don't have a lot of space, why not transfer your washi tapes from those cores onto popsicle sticks? This is a great space-saving tool. A large ring can store all of your washi tapes. You know I love using jars. I actually have these in my craft room already that I got from IKEA. This works beautifully for displaying the different hues or patterns. But you don't always have to have them broken down and neat. If you don't have a large collection, consider just a couple of cute little containers and let them just be thrown in. This works great if you're not needing them all of the time and you're the type of person that doesn't like to have all of that visual clutter. Now, this is a store, but when I saw all of the posts upright, it gave me an idea. So I went looking online and I found some of these ideas where they took copper tubing and just put it into a flange, much like you would with a paper towel holder. Then I saw this little one where they did something very similar and put it into a block of wood, and my brain started going. So I came up with an idea in conjunction with something I'd seen a couple of weeks ago in Handyman for making something that spun out so you would have access to tools. And that's when I came up with this little guy. So here's what I did. I got together my supplies, and what I got were a couple of pieces of PVC, and they sell short pieces at Lowe's for just $2 a piece. I also got these little tees, which are in the PVC area. They were 59 cents each, but if you're doing a lot, they do sell them in large packs of 10 for $4. I got 4 of those, and I got the PVC that would fit inside the tees. I also needed a dowel. The dowel size that I chose was a 1/2 inch, which was just $2.14. Make sure the dowel size that you choose will fit inside the tee that you're getting. And I had scrap wood, but that might be an extra cost for you. I had a lot of 1x2s around, and if you do want it standing, you'll need a base for it to attach to. So I started off by measuring the length that all of the tees together were. And again, I used my scrap pieces, the smallest ones first. Once I had that measured, I transferred it onto the second one and cut them both the same length. Now that this matches the tees, I wanted to decide how wide I wanted this. I figured having about 10 inches for the washi tape to fit onto would be perfect. Now, if you were using this for ribbon, you would want to have some small pieces of PVC to space between your tees to allow for the wider spools of ribbon. Once I decided on the length, it was easy to cut the PVC with my Dollar Tree hacksaw. And then I put it together just so I could decide the width that the outside frame was going to be. Again, I'm using scraps from a desk I dismantled. So I went ahead and got ready to mark it. I decided to use a ruler to make sure it was square. The more square you can make this, the better off it's going to be. So I marked those lines and then went to my chop saw, but you can use the hacksaw to cut those off. I had to cut my ends off because mine had holes from the screws. Now that those are in place, we're ready to get the dowel ready. Take off that last little T and line it up on the wood and make a circle on the inside. We're going to do this on both pieces. So with a small drilling tool, but you can use a small drill bit, I went ahead and drilled a hole through one and then made a recessed hole that didn't go all the way through on the second piece. This way the dowel can slide through the top and rest in the bottom. This will make it easier if you ever want to take apart your frame without having to destroy it. So the bottom fits snugly inside and it will go all the way through the top. So now that I have that done, I can go ahead and decide what length I want my dowel to be. So the way this will go together is these T's will just slide right on top, the dowel will rest in the bottom, and you'll be able to spin it from the top if you wanted to, but I have it loose just so I could take it apart if I ever want to change it out for things. These little bars will be freestyle, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off the top dowel piece with my hacksaw one more time. And once that's cut, I can go ahead and drill pilot holes in these. You want to make sure you drill pilot holes. So now I'm actually going to finalize it and put it together. Apply wood glue. I'm using my reptile glue because it's so good. So I'm just going to piece those in initially, and once they're pretty tacky, I'm going to start putting in finishing nails. Now I'm sledding on the top, making sure I have some glue there as well, and feeding the dowel through that hole. I'm also making sure that it's square. I love having this grid mat because it always makes sure that everything's lined up. So once I know it's perfectly square, I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes so that glue sets. And then I can go ahead and flip it up and start putting the nails through those pilot holes. I want to reiterate again, please make sure you've got pilot holes in place, otherwise your wood can split. I start off by putting one nail at each corner first, just so if I need to make any adjustments at all, I can. Once I have all 4 of the nails in, I am ready to start loading my washi tape on. Now, if you wanted to spray paint yours before you do this, you certainly can. I was just trying to make sure I had it together for you. I'm still undecided if I want to paint it white or I might stain the wood so it matches my desk better. I'm breaking down my washi tapes by the color hues. I love doing that all of the time. But once again, I can hang this on a wall by just putting a little sawtooth hook on the back. Or if I want this to stand on my desk, I would just need to put a small piece of wood that's wider than the base at the bottom so that it will stand. This isn't sized appropriately, but you get the idea from it. Because it's not very wide, I could have this sitting on a shelf and then I could just pull out the arm that I need to get access to all of those washi tapes or ribbons. This was a total of $8.58 after taxes, but again, if you have some of these supplies laying around, it would be less, and if you needed to buy the wood, I'm guessing it would end up being just about $10. But you can make this whatever size you want. If you have a ton, this would be an amazing storage piece to go behind a door because it doesn't take any space and you would have all of this access. And again, by spacing with some PVC pipe between the tees, you could have ribbon taking up one part of it and your washi tapes at the other. Keep giving me those requests for what you need specifically and send me pictures. I love coming up with ideas specifically for what your needs are. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you to my patrons who allow me to make these videos. If you would like to see your name on that list, please check out my Patreon information in the description below. And don't forget to check out my website. I have free downloads for templates on there, as well as some of my merchandise that I am loving. By the way, if you haven't seen or gotten it yet, I have my new water bottle, which I love, and I know a couple of you have gotten that and have mentioned how much you like it. So thanks for supporting me by getting these things as well. Thanks so much, you guys. I will see you in just a few days. Bye.